Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the H2G podcast. And here are your hosts, Tony Ray.
He hails from the great city of Perrysburg. The only thing he's good at is nothingness. He has won Employee of the Month the last 3 months being a stay-at-home dad. What's this guy's name again? Oh, okay, thank you. It's Tony Ray.
Marvin Scott.
The best thing we can do right now is exercise our voices. I urge you all out there to exercise your voice. Use your platforms. We're using this podcast, and it wasn't easy for us to share these stories with you today, even the stories we held back from.
Richie Phillips.
I vehemently disagree with everybody on this. Okay, so first of all, let's go back to the point. Highest paid defensive player. We can easily argue one way or another. He was the first round 2017 pick. Let's get into the character issue, because this is where I disagree with you guys.
Justo.
Justin, what do you think, man?
Yeah, I got a package here for Don Corleone. Is there a Don Corleone in the house?
Somebody's got to sign for it.
Christy.
But what if you have an ugly baby? Like, do you want to take it home? No, not honestly. Like, leave it there. I don't want it. And you want to come in and take pictures of my ugly alien baby? No, I don't want it at all. I don't want proof my baby was ugly.
And Alexandra Sedlak.
Listen to yourself. Understand who you are, what your passions are, what your skills are, what makes you you, what lights you up. Follow that. Like, stay on that path. Don't get distracted or do things just because you feel like you're obligated to or you should. Explore the things that light you up, because those are the things that you're probably here to do.
Good morning and welcome to the H2G podcast.
Good morning and welcome to another lovely episode of the H2G podcast. This is Justo, and I am joined in the studio with some friends of mine that you might know. I've got Mr. Tony Ray. Tony, how you doing, man?
Doing pretty good. Yourself?
Oh, doing great, man. Another week. Glad to see you again. We got Richie Phillips in the house.
Hey, man, it's been hot as it gets out here. It was actually 105, so I felt like for once I was hotter than you guys over there in Ohio. So
awesome. And back again, we have Miss Christy. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. We have an awesome show planned for you. But first, we're going to go around the horn and tell our best part of the week. We'll start with Tony.
Well, the best part of my week was Doug's girlfriend came over and visited us, and we got to spend some time with her. She's from Michigan, and she's planning on moving to the Carolinas here soon, so she's spending some quality time with the family. And we tried to have Christy come over, but she was way too busy to come over, so that's unfortunate that she wasn't able to make it. She had other obligations, but that was the best part of my week. We are now home, back from Bobby and Kevin's, and spent a little time with Connor Thomas. And that kid is homogenous, 9 pounds. That's a big baby.
Yeah, it is, man. Christy, you ghosted Tony. Is that the best part of your week, or?
I wish that was the best part of my week, because like we said, was it 2 weeks ago? Just ghosting in general. I haven't done it before. I should have just changed my number so he couldn't actually reach me. No, the best part of my week is actually also the worst part of my week. We celebrated with my neighbors who are actually leaving tomorrow for Washington. So got to hang out with them a little bit more. So that's why I didn't go hang out with Tony.
Oh, well, that's fair. That's fair. Richie, what was the best part of your week, man?
I mean, is it fair though? Really? I mean, let's see here. The girlfriend could be pure family long term. The neighbors, they're done and gone. They're moving. You're never going to see them again. Let's be honest. Best part of my week. Let's see here. Probably not how hot it was. But what I would say the best part of my week is I got more of my travel posters. And they actually came pretty quick. So the first time I ordered the first 4, they're really expensive, and it took like a month and a half to COVID. And maybe they got their stuff together in Sweden where this is being made, because I actually got them in like a week. So we're halfway done with the wall. It's improving. Place is starting to get homey, I guess. I don't know. I'm running out of things to buy. So that's kind of good, because I told you I'm running out of money. So I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully I can stop buying stuff.
Man, that's got to be the smartest house in the country. And the best looking now. So I would usually at this point kick it over to Marvin. Unfortunately, Marvin had a family emergency and is not able to be with us today. So our thoughts and prayers are with Marv and his family. Best part of my week, I got a new video game system. I know I didn't need it, but...
What?
But I got one.
What was it?
The Nintendo Switch. I came down to film with you, Tony, and Andrew was there, and I played that thing, and I was like stuck on it. And so, but yeah, that was the best part of my week. We've got an awesome show planned for you. Coming up next, we have news. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to the H2G podcast.
And now, time for news on the H2G podcast.
What's going on, guys? It's time for news. We're going to talk about the dispute between Epic Games and Apple. Epic Games and Apple began a clash over Fortnite that is sure to have ripple effects throughout the video game industry, particularly with regards to mobile games. A seemingly innocent announcement from Epic Games about a reduction in price for their in-game currency was quickly revealed to be the starting gun in an antitrust war against Apple and its App Store practices. Fortnite, the widely popular online battle royale game, uses an in-game currency known as V-Bucks. V-Bucks can be used by players to purchase a variety of in-game items, including outfits, emotes, and battle passes, which allow access to the seasonal content. Recently, Fortnite announced that it was reducing the cost of its V-Bucks on all platforms, from PC to Switch to iPhone. But the source of Apple's feud with Epic Games isn't the price reduction itself, but how Epic Games is implementing the price reduction. Now, Richie, you've got a little bit more of an insight on what's going on there with Epic. You want to share that for us?
Epic is suing Apple and Google separately because they both pulled them off Epic's Fortnite game off of their apps. So this is a big deal, guys. This isn't about a video game per se, but I do think this shows you when a publisher is quite dense. And what I mean by that is very simple. They created a game, right? Or an app, let's just think of it that way. You have proprietary software that you're using. Well, you have an avenue, a very large avenue that these companies have created on their own. They're the ones who do the hard work. They're the ones who create the software for these products being phones or tablets. So they're giving people opportunities to create and content create. You happen to have content, you're throwing it on their store. Epic tried to circumvent their contractual agreements, terms of service, by saying, oh, well, why should you get 30% of the money that I want, right? So at the end of the day, what they're trying to say is, you don't deserve anything for all the work you did to create your software, and I deserve 100% of the profits. So what they did is they circumvented the system and tried to say, oh, our consumer, you can save 30% by going directly to us. Therefore, you would, instead of paying $10, you're paying $7. All this is doing, let's clarify this. All this is doing is they're still getting the $7 that they would have gotten from the $10 the customer gets. So yes, at the end of the day, the customer is saving money, but it's Epic trying to not give money to the people who are providing them a service, quite frankly. It is providing them a service. So it's very naive of them. So on two levels, you have two things. They made fun of Apple, and I'm going to let Justin go into that. And it's a very infamous thing. They made fun of Apple. They also did so with Google, though. And they actually, in their lawsuit, said it as a broken promise to their ecosystem. They said, in 1998, Google was founded as an exciting young company with a unique motto, don't be evil. 22 years later, Google has relegated its motto to a near afterthought and is using its size to do evil upon competitors. Innovators, customers and users in a slew of markets it has grown to monopolize. That's very sanctimonious to me to read something like that. How dare they charge us by us using their product to the consumer?
Yeah, so what we were referring to, or what you referred to, Richie, was they did a parody of one of Apple's, I think it was like 1984 commercials, and they put it as the starter when you open the game. I actually saw it. I was like, what is this? Hashtag free Fortnite. I guess trying to look at it, first and foremost, once a contract's signed, you can't go back on that. No, I know a lot of these different games, like Rocket League's another one that's really working towards as much diversity and cross-platform as possible so that everybody can play together. And I think that's cool that Fortnite's done that. But when they wanted to make that expanse into the mobile gaming and get people playing their games with everybody else from their cell phones, they had to make those deals. And you can't now just try to go back on that and say, we're going to take this shortcut. We're going to keep everybody to ourselves. If you do successfully remove yourself from Google and Apple and you stand alone, you're going to hurt from that anyway, Epic, because now you've lost all of those people that can play only on their phones, that don't have the consoles, that don't have the PCs to play the games. You just lost all of them because they can't buy it through their store anymore. So you gave it and now you're taking it back. And I think that's going to hurt you as a company. I could see them probably caving. I don't see any other way around it. If they don't, then they're probably going to start sinking. That's just how it goes.
All right. So here's my question, and you or Richie can answer it. So where all can you play these games on? Is it just on iPhones or tablets, or where can you play these games?
You can play them on every console. So like PlayStation 4, Xbox One. I even think Nintendo Switch now.
Nintendo Switch, yep.
Tablets, phones, PC, and Mac. So virtually anything and everything is cross-play and you can play together.
And they make a ton of money. That's the thing. When we're talking about greed, what this is a game that it's free to play, but everything cool is a microtransaction. All the cool skins and stuff that everybody wants costs money, costs V-Bucks. And that's what they're trying to take away from those purchases. They're trying to take those away from Google and Apple.
Okay. I'm just trying to put it all together because it sounds like, yes, they're going to lose a lot of people that play on their phones. They're going to, especially because it comes down to greed, because over $3, essentially, right? You want the whole pie instead of just a little bit of the pie. So, it comes down to greed. And if they don't restructure or come up with a plan with Apple and Google, I can see them absolutely going under, like you both suggested. I was just trying to wrap my head around, okay, so there's all these different platforms. They need these V dollars or V coins or whatever it is. I understand, it might not be that, but you're talking about some kind of electronic bucks so that way you can buy cool gear or different gadgets or whatever it would be. I just want to know if there's other ways that they're getting money on PlayStation, because if they can't do the downloads anymore on those Apple or Google devices, will PlayStation still be getting that download, or how far will this go? That's my question, is like, how far is this going to go? Because if they're going to buckle with Google and Apple, they're going to need a lot more help with everybody else. But like you said, not everybody plays a PlayStation. We learned that when you told us earlier you got a Nintendo Switch, right? So, then you're going to be catering to a group of people where you could have had open platforms on a whole different, scale that you could have reached a whole bunch of people over being greedy. I don't know, it's a lot, but that's me talking from outside. I've never played Fortnite. I'm a big video game person. I don't like what Epic is trying to do, especially when somebody helped you along the way. You know what I mean? And now you're just trying to back out. I think there could have been a cleaner way to do that.
Yeah, it does sound like they're just being greedy. So I'm sure Google and Apple, the monsters that they are, will definitely shut it down.
Yeah, and as they have. And I think for me, like I said, my perspective is just very simple in the sense of they are not treating Epic any differently than they're treating every developer who has an app. If your app is free and there's no product and there's no sale, they gladly put that on there. They're just saying that if you're going to charge something, and we're having to deal with that download and that bandwidth on our server, there's a price you have to pay, and that's 30%. And every developer, it's 30%. Nobody gets, like, for instance, here's an example. There's a company called Twitch who does streaming and things like that. And on an individual basis, they make contracts and they give these people extra money. And it's like, you can have 80% of the income and we're only going to take 20, versus 50-50 for like nobodies, right? But my point is I don't even like that market. I prefer what Apple and Google do, which is you are treated equally, whether you're our number one or you're our number 1 billion. It doesn't matter. It's 30%. It's very obvious that their biggest market is this phone industry, right? Because let's think about this. If they're so concerned with the percentages, why on earth are they only focusing on that $7 number that Justin was referring to? And it must be because these phones and these tablets are where the money is, and it's not from the consoles.
Yeah, I'll cap it off with I think you're absolutely, to quote Tony Ray, hitting the nail right on the head, because for mobile, that's the only battle royale that I know of that is well known that you can play on your phone. They don't have a lot of competition there. They need that market. That'll do it for news. Stay with us. We got The Wire coming up next. We have a special guest joining us, as well as our artist spotlight, Miss Carrie Jo Beach. You're listening to the H2G podcast.
Hot off the wire.
Hot off the wire this week.
Hot off the wire.
Hot off the wire this week. You fellas ready for this?
And now, H2G presents The Wire.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are in The Wire, and we actually kind of have a COVID-related story jumping off of last week from ESPN. Seahawks waive Ricky Severan for trying to sneak female visitor into team hotel. The gentleman was caught earlier in the week. NFL Network first reported it, noting that the woman was wearing Seahawks gear in an attempt to disguise herself as a player. I'm sure that's going to look like she's a player. Come on. Coach Pete Carroll's number one rule is always protect the team. On Wednesday, he praised the veteran leaders for sending the right message to the locker room about the need to be disciplined while preparing for a season amid the corona pandemic. The Seahawks placed only one player on the COVID list. Carroll confirmed it was actually a false negative, and the player, John Ursua, was reactivated. Severan actually went undrafted. He was out of Oklahoma State. He received a $2,000 signing bonus before he got cut. That was tied for the smallest bonus among the Seahawks undrafted free agents. His agent declined to comment on the matter when reached via text. So guys, think about it this way. You worked your whole life wanting to play professional football. Your whole life. And you go through college. And then you can't even keep it in your pants, man. Like, are you kidding me? During this pandemic? I mean, I have more to say later, but I want your thoughts. So, Justin, why don't you give us your thoughts?
Oh, man. I had a feeling it was coming to me first. I'm just tired of these idiots, man. First of all, we if you go back in the season a little bit, I've already stated that I don't think it's a good idea to be playing anyway. But what they're trying to do is keep everybody as quarantined and disease-free and do that with the entire league. So if you somehow jeopardize this for a one-night stand or whatever it was, it could have been his girl, who knows? If she is sick and brings it in and you have it, then your team's going to have it. Then you're going to play a game, and then now you got sick people everywhere. And that's what's happening across the world, which is why they shouldn't be playing in the first place. I mean, at least they were caught, and hopefully that means that across the board, everybody is being very aware and, keeping a close eye on things. But I still can't see it.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, Justin. I mean, think about it. Like, the NBA has the bubble, right? So at least they're confining people in a particular manner. These football teams are trying to address it in their own areas with themselves. And it's extremely more challenging than this bubble that the NBA has provided. And just to go on the record, and I've said this before, I don't think any sports team should be playing whatsoever. So I appreciate the college kids that have basically forced these divisions and these conferences to not be able to play fall sports. And I obviously, for the athletes and the professionals, it would be nice for them to be able to do so too. But we already know at the end of the day what would ultimately happen if these professionals said no. Scabs. That's what they always do. Tony, what's your take?
Yeah, it's outrageous. And you work your whole life, like Richie alluded to earlier, pee-wee football, high school, college, and then you get, a chance in the NFL and you squander it all away because of a poor decision. You're putting people at risk. I'm glad that they caught the individual and they were able to make an example out of it, because if they didn't, this could have played out a lot different than it did, So I'm excited that it happened that way. The NBA is doing it the way that they're doing it. MLB is doing it the way that they're doing it. The NFL, it doesn't seem like it's really tight yet. Like they don't really have a secure plan of what's going on. But it's nice to see that the Seahawks stepped up to the plate when something did slip through, because I guarantee if it would have came out that she got through and, this story would have came out, 3 months down the road, we all be like, what? Because it wouldn't be the only story, because I'm sure the word would have got passed around and people would have started doing it. But you're doing it for a piece of ass. You're doing it for some punani. I mean, think about it. You just threw away everything that you had going for you because you couldn't wait a second. There's NBA players in Orlando right now that aren't even seeing some of their family members. That's how dedicated they are. If you're going to do it, you have to follow the rules. It's that plain and simple. Follow the rules because they're in place for safety. Otherwise, there's no point of having the league. I agree with you both. It shouldn't happen because you got to have all these different ducks in a row to make sure that, it all plays out. But if they're going to do it, they need to do it like this, and they need to make sure that, rules aren't being broken.
Yeah, no, I think exactly how you're thinking, man. It's just undrafted. Let's clarify that. Undrafted. He literally was even fortunate to have a position in the NFL. But again, he worked his whole life to get there. Undrafted. And there's two things I want to point out. Two things. They tried to have this woman. We don't know who she is. If it's girlfriend, wife, one night stand, we don't know. And I'm not commenting on that. That doesn't really matter in the scope of this. But they intently and clearly tried to hide her by masking her as a player, which is disgusting behavior to me by this young man. Disgusting behavior. It's absolutely unacceptable. He willfully and ignorantly tried to hide this behind people and hide her in here. Now, Pete Carroll, and this is the second point, is 68 years old. 68 years old. Many members on the staff are in that range. That's what tends to happen in coaching and managerial positions in organizations, particularly in sports, is they're on the elderly side of things. So there's almost nobody under the age of 50. Well, that is precisely the targeting range of what COVID will hit. I'm not worried about these athletes. I'm worried about who these athletes are around, their family members, and in this case, the coaching and managerial staff. Pete Carroll, and it's all serious when I say this, could have died from this. If this woman got somebody sick and nobody got caught, and then all of a sudden this guy gets COVID and Pete catches COVID, Pete could have died. He's 68 years old. He's easily susceptible to that. It could have very well happened. So it's just disgusting behavior. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter the circumstances, like Tony said. There are NBA athletes who don't get to see their families, don't get to see their children, but they're doing it to do it right in the sense of not trying to get caught and not trying to catch COVID when I say caught, and not trying to get anybody in a situation where it can endanger their health.
I'm actually going to mimic what you just said about it's not necessarily about the players, it's about who they come in contact with. And you need to watch out for your neighbors and everyone you care about. It's not about you putting your mask on. You're not doing it for yourself. You're doing it for everyone else and for the greater good. So the fact that even the young lady, whoever she was, came in not caring what's going on. I mean, I get it. He's a professional football player, and that's so cool. Oh my gosh. Just think about what you're doing and the consequences, and he figured them out. And I'm sure she's not getting laid from him. Cost him his job. So yeah, just think about what you're doing and the consequences. You can bang it out after COVID's all done. keep it in your pants.
Or bang it out during COVID, but then you can't go back to the facility and be a football player because you rather bang it out with this girl than to make your dreams come true. You know.
Yeah, you can get laid all you want now, man.
Yeah, you can get laid every single day, wherever you want. That's cool. But no jokes aside, this is very serious. And Richie hit it, Justin hit it, and Christy hit it. People aren't taking this serious enough, and it's affecting the greater good. It's affecting a lot of people. You've got to take this serious so that way people aren't put in danger that should be put in danger. The way that Richie said it about Pete Carroll, I hope everybody was listening. Let that sink in. That's who it could have affected, and that's who it could have killed. And Pete Carroll wasn't able to make that decision.
Yeah, definitely think for this gentleman, it's a lesson he learned very hardly. Kamal Severand, and I hope whatever that night was for him was worth it, because that's his entire life. He wasn't thinking about having sex with this young woman. He was thinking about playing football, and now he is no longer playing football. And quite frankly, will probably never have the chance again to play professional football. He was an undrafted player. Nobody got to see his talent. I don't know anything about this young man, so I don't know what his skills are or aren't, but clearly it wasn't good enough for the first 7 rounds. So that's going to do it for The Wire. Up next is Game of the Week. Stay tuned.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Game of the Week.
Hey folks, and welcome to Game of the Week here on the H2G podcast. We have Alexandra Sedlak. How are you doing, Alex?
Hey, I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Thanks for joining us for Game of the Week. What we're going to do is we're going to play categories. So to make it fair, I have different categories over here, and you're all going to pick something so that way it's more towards something that you can have some kind of home field advantage. So for actor, Richie, will you pick an actor for us?
I will. The Rock.
Christy, could you pick a singer for us, please?
Panic at the Disco.
Awesome. Thank you. Alex, can you pick a movie genre?
Thriller.
Thank you. And Justo, will you pick a letter?
Q.
That category is going to suck. I'll just tell you that right now. All right. So this is how we're going to do it. I'm going to start with Christy, and then from Christy to go to Alex, and then from Alex to go to Richie, and then from Richie to go to Justin, and then back to me, and then we'll start all over again. Okay? If you don't have something to say, you will lose. You'll just drop out, and it'll keep going until the last person. So the first person out gets 1 point. The second person out gets 2 points. The third person out gets 3 points. The fourth person 4. The last person gets 5 points. Very complicated, but I'll be able to keep track. Okay, it's gonna be fast. You only have like a couple of seconds to say something, otherwise you're out. So just do a practice.
You have to say it quickly.
So you have to say it quickly. Yes, we'll do a practice round real quick. This will be my category. Okay, so we're gonna do cereal. Christy.
Life.
Alex.
Checks.
Richie.
Cornflakes.
Justo.
Cocoa Puffs.
Fruit Loops.
Lucky Charms.
Rice Krispies.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Cheerios.
All right, and then I'm out. So Christy, you keep going.
Kicks.
Reese's Puffs.
I'm out.
Mini Wheats.
Count Chocula.
Did someone say Lucky Charms?
I did.
Damn
Yeah.
it!
Tricks.
Oh, that's a good one. Golden
Surprised nobody said
Grams.
I don't even eat cereal. I'm out.
There actually
That's
is
okay,
one. I don't think
red
anyone's across it for me.
Oh yes.
Just to
So-
the win.
Raisin Bran. I don't think I'm Raisin.
Oh yeah,
So
that's a good
with the practice run, Christy got 5 points. Alex got 3, Richie got 2, Justo got 4, and I got 1. So we're gonna move on to actor. Now I'm glad that we all have it down. Christy, you're gonna lead again. Richie named The Rock. So I need movies that The Rock was in.
Oh no.
Tooth Fairy.
Who's next?
I can't think of any. I know. I can't think of any.
All right, she done. Jumanji, next level.
What did you say?
He said Jumanji
Jumanji
next
didn't-
level.
Fighting with my family.
Central Intelligence.
Moana.
Baywatch.
I give up. Game plan. Damn.
Fast and the Furious.
Which one?
7.
Fast and the Furious 6.
Fast and the Furious 8.
Fast Five.
Was he in 5?
I don't think
I don't
he was
think
in
he's in
5.
5. I don't think he's in 5, my friend.
I think that's where he first debuted, but it's okay because I don't even.
We'll give it to you. No more Fast and the Furious though.
I mean, it's all cheating.
No more.
Hobbs and Shaw.
I'm out.
Walking Tall.
Yeah, I'm out.
I'm out. Richie, you got one more?
Rampage.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
San Andreas.
He's been doing a lot of movies that I just haven't had a chance to see.
Now, because Justo and I both went out, I gave us both 3 points because we both went out at the same time.
same
I wasn't
round.
gonna give myself 4 because that'd be cheating.
I think that's fair.
All right, so moving on, we're gonna do singers. So Christy picked Panic of the Disco, so we'll see how long this lasts. I need songs by Panic of the Disco. Christy.
I write sins, not tragedies.
That was my choice. Guys, I'm losing.
Okay. Is it my turn? Are you giving
Yes.
up, Alex? You tapping out? Okay.
Yep.
High hopes.
9 in the afternoon.
There you go.
I'm giving myself a 1 because that's the only one I knew was the one that Christy said.
Christy?
But it's better if you do.
Hey, look, Ma, I made it. I know that one.
Beaver, you can't sweat out.
The Greatest Show.
Oh, that's sneaky, but it counts. Into the Unknown. I'll do the same thing. What's up?
Oh,
I know so many, but I don't know the names. I'm done.
Okay.
thanks
If we
for
could
the
sing it, it'd be
memories.
different.
What'd you say?
Thanks for the memories.
Ah,
It's not them.
Wait.
That's Fallout Boy.
no.
Isn't it?
That's Fallout Boy.
Yeah.
My bad.
That's totally
All
Fallout
right.
Boy. Somebody. That's Fallout Boy.
All right.
All right, I gotta answer one though to win, but I can do it. If movie ones count, Bohemian Rhapsody cover, Suicide Girls or Suicide Squad, same difference.
Nope, I got it. I gave it to you. All right, so movie genres. I need all movies that are thrillers.
This is huge.
Whenever you're ready, Chris, you start it off and we'll just roll.
So does it count? Is that a
No, it's a horror.
That's a horror. But we'll give you another one.
P2?
Yes.
My turn.
Yep.
Funny games.
I'm gonna go with Parasite.
Everything I'm gonna say is gonna be horror. The Sixth Sense.
Kiss a Girl.
Oh my gosh. That one movie.
That one.
No, that sounds like you out.
Twister. Is Twister a thriller?
Sure. I'll give it to you.
The Invitation.
Nice.
Girl on the Train.
Like it.
7.
That's good. That's good.
Nope.
Inception.
The Dark Knight.
Hush.
Hush counts. Dark Knight, I'm still questionable on, but whatever. 21 Bridges.
Split.
Along Came a Spider.
It's The Dark Knight doesn't count. Will Joker count?
Yes.
I think Joker counts more than The Dark Knight, so I'm not going to complain about that one.
Gerald's Game.
Ooh.
She got all, like, look at that. It's like an encyclopedia here. I'm going to go with You Should Have Left. It's the new one with Kevin Bacon this year.
I haven't seen that yet.
Pretty good.
Now You See Me.
Alex Cross.
Speed.
The Shining.
Oh, man, see, she got the good ones. Knives Out. That was also a really good movie. That was really awesome.
Since we're throwing new ones, The Hunt.
I think I'm out.
I mean, we've been going through them.
Oh my goodness. Oh, Reservoir Dogs.
Elephant.
I'm surprised you didn't say this one, Christy. V for Vendetta.
Oh.
Not my thing. That's Bobby's thing. Yeah, get the people straight, Richie.
I mean, that's when we got divorced.
A Fight Club.
That's a good one.
Also, what is Fight Club?
We don't talk about Fight Club.
Jack Reacher.
Yeah, I'll count that.
Brigham County.
Gosh.
Manchurian Candidate.
Oh my god.
Are we Googling?
Right.
Raping.
I don't want to go out. Sin City.
Ooh, that's a good one. I'm out.
Obsessed.
That's a good one. The last one I got that I can think of right now is Gemini Man with Will Smith, where he's like the two dudes.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I haven't seen it, but I feel like it's a thriller. It has to be.
No, it is. I'll count it.
Okay.
Oh no. I just had a good one and I lost it. Unbreakable.
Unbreakable.
Who's next?
Christy.
I'm out.
Oh, Christy's out.
Oh, Alex.
Flipper.
What?
What'd you say?
Flipper. I just watched this the other night with Sharon Stone and William Burton.
I thought you said Flipper, like the dolphin. I'm like, I didn't know that's a thriller. I totally would have said that.
All right, really?
Oh my god, that's funny.
Flipper.
John Wick. I was just thinking, yeah, John Wick.
John Wick. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Zodiac.
Nice.
God, I mean, I know I'm out, but let me at least clarify what I was thinking. It's the movie with Liam Neeson and he punches the wolf.
Oh.
But I'm out.
Gray. It's
Gray. Yeah, it's Gray.
Wait, but I'm out. But Gray is what I would have tried to say.
Dang, you should have said that earlier. I have
All right,
more now.
Down to Justo and Alex.
Oh god. Orphan.
Nice. That's a good one.
Lights Out.
Rose red.
The skeleton key.
Dude, you should just tap out. She's gonna.
I know.
Skeleton Key's a good one.
The bone collector.
What are you even thinking?
John Q.
Ah,
That's an emotional one too.
It is. It's definitely a thriller, but it's also like a drama and all that.
Taken.
Ooh, okay.
What Lies Beneath?
Nice.
Just give up, bro. You just
Pulp Fiction.
Ooh.
Pulp Fiction.
What is that called?
Sharknado.
The Village.
Oh, The Village is really good.
That counts. I came up with one, but it's too late.
Hateful Eight.
What'd you say?
Hateful Eight.
Signs.
Bone Tomahawk. Don't watch it.
I've never even heard of that thing.
So it's what's his name?
You're giving her time to think.
Kurt Russell.
I'm trying to help you out. I didn't see that.
Did someone say Split already?
Yep, Justo did.
Oh, damn. Does that mean I lost?
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say Usual Suspects. I don't think anyone said that.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
That's so good. Yeah.
I was gonna start leaning Tarantino hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, Alex, though, I have to give you some like she's just boom, boom, boom.
Hey, she said some really good movies too.
Yeah.
You said all the good ones. I just said the new ones.
I was like,
I was barely getting by because mine were hardly.
That's crazy. Next Q.
Yeah. So the letter Q. This would be fast because I'm already putting one down for me. So foods that start with the letter Q.
Foods?
Oh, what have I done? Is there any food that starts with
You could change the letter, Justo.
I change?
I feel like we're stuck with it.
I did this to be that guy, I guess. Oh man.
Let's commit to it. I already have one.
You gotta commit. Yeah,
I've got one.
Commit. All right, do it. Go.
Quick Oats.
Quinoa.
You mother effer. Quesadilla.
Hey.
Shoot.
Queso.
What?
Queso.
Mm-hmm.
Cheese.
It's melted cheese. Doesn't even go in a quesadilla.
Tony, you wrote one. Just bow into it.
All right, keep going.
Queso Fundido.
What is that?
It's cheese and sausage.
Oh, nice.
I have no idea.
I got one. Quiche. I got one more left, and then I'm out.
Yeah, I'm bowing out. Man.
See, I feel like it's a cop out to say quick rice, but that's what we have in our with our quick oats. I'm trying to think of
Come
all
on,
the
Jen,
words
there's
that
gotta be a time.
starts with.
Oh, yeah, the time's already up.
Oh.
Okay, thank you. Good grief. Quarter pounder. That's the last one I got.
Quarter
All right.
pounder with cheese.
Yeah, all right.
Guys,
All right.
I almost said Greek salad, which makes no sense.
Well, I was gonna say like something like corn.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh.
So we're gonna do double the points, the same thing that we were doing. And since I'm in last place, I get to pick the category. So I'm going to pick Michael Jackson songs.
Double the point. This game is so rigged. You see what I'm saying? Every time I answer the most, and you guys find a way,
Let's see.
I don't win.
You might still win. Stop
We're
being a
missing
baby.
Marvin. I don't know if the listeners remember this, but Tony is a Michael Jackson aficionado.
Well, damn.
I'm ready whenever you guys are. Richie's still mad.
We're doing song titles?
Song titles.
I'm ready.
All right. Thriller.
Billie Jean.
I Want You Back.
They don't really care about us.
Ben.
Earth Song.
Did you say bad?
Nope.
Nope, but there we go.
Bad.
Man in the Mirror.
Smooth Criminal.
PYT.
Beat It.
The way you make me feel.
Black or White.
ABCs.
Oh, you're going old school. Look at you. Unbreakable.
I don't know.
Come on, Judge.
It's out.
All right. Yep.
Okay, you guys name some Jackson 5 songs, so I'm going to do Who's Loving You.
I didn't know that was the thing, so I wasn't thinking
Hey,
Jackson 5.
That totally counts. That's part of his career. And I'm going to go with I'll Be There.
Yeah.
Rockin' Robin.
Oh, well, I get a turn still.
Oh, my bad. You can take it.
We are the world.
Rockin'
Yeah.
Robin.
Isn't there one called like Mankind or Humankind or something? Did I just imagine that?
No, but I won't give it to you.
Okay. I think I'm out.
Okay.
Well, then I'm going within the closet.
3,
I'm out.
2. Okay. Alex, I think you were thinking of Human Nature.
That's it. Mm-hmm.
And now that Justin has officially bowed out, I know I can't beat you, so I'm bowing out, my friend.
What? I wrote all these songs down and I'm crossing them off.
I know. Because I just needed to beat Justin. I don't need to beat you. So as long as I get more points than him.
Wait, you wrote your songs down?
Yes.
He's cheating. That's what
That's
I'm saying.
totally cheating.
How is that cheating?
So cheating.
It's not cheating because you can write ideas in your mind like a mental list.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not Sherlock Holmes.
Prepping for this.
He said, you can pause this for a second. I'm going to write down all these answers.
Oh,
And
no,
then-
I was counting what the numbers were.
He was scratching.
For the first part of it.
Tony, I'll tell you what. Congratulations in the sense of you tried to rig the game for yourself and you succeeded in this round. So good job.
Oh, no, it wasn't to win. I just didn't want to come in last.
No, that was my point. No.
Oh,
that's what
yeah,
I'm saying.
absolutely.
Like, it would have been embarrassing if you tried to rig it and you didn't succeed. That's why I'm saying good job. Because that would have been embarrassing. That's all.
I have a question.
Yes.
I'm good with it, but how come you said you had the least amount of points and you were the one who gets to choose the question? Why? Is that what you said?
Because I had the least amount of points.
But that doesn't make sense. I'm not that mad about it, but
how does it?
It totally doesn't.
How does it not make sense?
It should be like if you have the most amount of points.
yeah.
No,
But-
this is not a 1% type of thing. This is you have to look. You got to look at the people at the bottom.
Okay.
The people at the bottom get to pick what it is. They vote for it, right?
All right.
I know Marvin's at home listening right now, smiling because we're finally protesting. We're protesting the system.
Anyway, with the points, it's still Justo with 20, Justo with 17, Richie with 20, Alex with 11, Christy with 14, and me with 7. We didn't count the last round. It was just for fun. There was no double the points. So with that, Richie is the winner of Game of the Week. Thank you for all participating for Game of the Week and playing the Michael Jackson category because that's my favorite category to play. So that's why we did that. It was for no points.
Fair. You know, it took me, what is this, week 7? Week 6? Week 6. It took me 6 weeks to win. Last year I was winning every week.
Well,
I want you to go back to being the points and rigging it because it took me a long time to get a win. I was answering everything. Ugh.
but the good news, Richie, is you did win, which means you are going to go to the final
That's right.
at the finale.
Yeah.
And I have a little bit of news. There is an actual anything championship for the H2G podcast that will be mailed to the winner if it doesn't stay here.
There's an actual title.
There's a title belt, the H2G podcast title belt.
Oh, y'all going down.
Nice. And let's recap who's in that final. As of right now, it's Richie, Marvin, and Douglas.
Yes, sir.
Those are the three in the final. We got one more show, right, before we do the finale? So
Yes,
there's one more participant that will be
Could be Alex.
one more spot.
Could be Justin. Could be Tony.
Could it be anybody?
man.
Absolutely. And that's it for Game of the Week. Up next, for real.
Two elderly men sneak out of a nursing home to attend a heavy metal festival.
Yeah, buddy.
Can't make this stuff up.
State population to double by 2040. Babies to blame. For real?
Oregon man driving stolen car crashes into woman driving another stolen car.
Oh my God.
What? Police warn of an alligator on the loose in Michigan.
In Michigan. He's lost.
For real?
For real?
For real?
For real?
For real on the H2G podcast.
Warning. Warning. No one 17 and under must be listening to the next part of the H2G podcast. Content clearly for adults only. All right, so we're to the for real part of the H2G podcast, and I have a story for you. It's a little out there, it's a little crazy, and it's about sex. So, this lady, and I won't say her name, there's a tradition where your first year that you're married, you have sex. And every time you have sex, you put a bean in a jar. Okay? So the object is you collect these beans. And then after that year that you're married, you take a bean out of the jar every time you have sex. So potentially you could have 365 beans in this jar. That's if you have sex 365 days in 1 year. So my question is, this lady had sex for 365 days to collect these beans. Can you guys have sex every day to collect these beans so that way you can have sex after that year to take beans out of it? Tell me what you think about this theory and if you could do it. Richie.
Okay. I'm still not understanding the currency situation, but I'll just go with the first part of the question. Could I have 365 days of the year? The answer is yes. Would I have like great sex 365 days of the year? The answer is absolutely not. There's no way. It'd be pretty bad. Sorry, I kind of got distracted because I had a woman message me on a dating app, and her response
How fitting.
Today is relaxing by the pool, relaxing. This is what I have to deal with, guys.
And I'll go on now to Alex and ask her if she's okay with answering the question. Could you
I
have...
don't know. I don't know what sex is. I don't
Okay.
know.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I
You're
appreciate
welcome.
that. Yep. All right. No problem. And that's your final answer?
Sorry, what?
And that's your final answer?
No, my final answer is if you had to do anything, you could do anything. We are capable of so much. We are very powerful. We can do anything we set our minds to, and that is my final answer.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it. Good answer. I like it. Christy, could you have sex 365 days a year? It's just a year. I'll just say a year. We 365 is a year. So could you have sex for 365 days?
I'm honestly gonna say no, but the reason you guys keep seeing me laugh is because I know the origin of this story. But it's a little too close to home, if you know what I mean.
We're not going to go there. We're not going to go there. We're not going to go there. Yeah.
But no, I'm gonna say no. Hard pass.
Hard pass.
We gotta rest on Sundays.
I got you. You got to have a resting day. Doing all that work, creating all that stuff for 6 days. You need a resting day. I got you. Justo, could you pop, lock, and drop it for 365 days?
Well, I thought we were talking about sex. I can't pop, lock, and drop it once, I don't think.
Okay.
I'd fall and break something.
So that answers the question about the sex then.
What?
I'm just joking.
I mean, that does not seem like a normal sex practice. I've seen the dance. I don't know. I think you're like thinking small picture, man. There's 365 considering you have like one a day. You could rack up, and then take some months off. There you go.
Critical thinking.
Wow. He just broke out of the shell there. Okay.
And that's all I got to say about that.
Okay. Well, okay.
People, come on.
All right. So the next question is, could you have sex for 365 days with the same person or once a month with somebody different? Richie.
Wait, so I have to choose between the two?
Correct.
I'd rather have 365 days with the same person if it's that or 12 times in a year. Come on.
Okay.
365 with one person.
I got you. Alex, you don't have to answer, but if you want to, I know you don't know what sex is.
Correct. However, I would choose the same person for 365 days. That is my final answer. Because I feel like, things get better with practice. And when you're exploring with one person, I feel like who you choose and you're already attracted to that person, it's gonna get better. But then you don't know what kind of randos you're going to be getting once a month, and I don't want to play that game. So
yeah, that's very insightful for someone who doesn't know what sex is.
Yes,
I know, it's weird. I don't even know how I know that, but
wow, that's crazy.
Going into this, I thought you were going to be like Mother Teresa, and then you come out being like a scientist, a mad scientist, just well known. I like it.
Thank you,
Christy.
so much.
Oh, that's such a good one because I've been married for so long. No, I'd probably pick the 365.
I feel like this is rigged, though.
Oh, it totally is. So rigged, yeah.
Yes.
We'll just leave it short and sweet.
Or not too short, but okay.
Not too short, not too long.
All right, Justo.
I knew something was up when we didn't vote on For Real this week. Yeah, definitely one person for 365. I don't like the dating process. I don't like going out. I don't like finding people. I hate the apps. I don't like any of it. It'd be great to be with somebody for a year and have sex every day.
I hear that.
Amen, brother.
I'm married. So to put it in perspective here, when I was talking about the beans, so the beans that went in the jar, they take them out. It's only really 730 times that they'd actually have sex in their lifetime. So even if, and I think the study says that on average, that like people have sex twice a week or something like that, married or non-married. If you do the twice a week, you're at like 96. Let's say you live to be 50 or 50 years of sex, I should say. It would be almost around 4,800 times you'd have sex. So this whole bean jar tradition, whatever it is, it's a little flawed. It's leaving you kind of left out for the person that told me this story. And I don't see how you could do it that way. I personally would just rather have sex a lot more times than 730 times a year, but that's just me. What'd you say?
Yeah, think of this. Well, you think of it this way. Here's jokes aside about my sexual drive. What I think is really hard about that, you have a limited finite number, right? Like, what happens if you start getting to that 100 range, and that's all you got? Then it's just like you have to really plan that out, and to last however long you're gonna live. I like to live in the moment. In all seriousness, I would be very devastated if, because of a rule or regulation that we as a couple decided to do for some reason, if we couldn't just be together and be in that moment. That's just craziness to me. I know you guys are kind of chuckling right now. Clearly, Christy's having a good time with that, but
I could counterpoint. I think I could see this working in a different direction, like the opposite direction, like trying to make sure that the marriage itself doesn't focus around sex. Or, you know, a lot of couples will go to that during fights. They'll go to that during frustration instead of talking or whatever. So I could see it as a device to help the relationship and not make it all about sex.
So I understand where Richie's coming from, and I understand where you're coming from, and that's kind of where the story came, you know, was passed down to me. It was about what you just said, Justo. It was about being able to not solely focus on the physical aspects of the relationship. It was to grow together, because after a while things start to fade. But I'm right there with Richie. Like, to me, I'm just a very sexually driven person, and I mean,
you know, 2 kids.
Something, you know, I need to work on that. But hey, it is what it is. But well, folks, that does it here for real. We talked about sex, baby, and we're going to go on to something else. So stay tuned.
Lights, camera, action. H2G presents The Up and Up.
All right, time for the Up and Up. And this week we are going to talk about Adele. Here recently, Adele has been facing a lot of pressure. And Richie, you and I were talking before the show about how that could be because of the divorce. And that's what a lot of people are wanting, some sad songs, some beautiful music to capture that. And what I wanted to ask you guys is, what do you think about these artists and the pressure they face? The fans are calling for her to make some music, and she's processing a divorce and living her life and doing what she needs to do. And also, for a lot of people, the creative process comes from experiencing life. So she's been upfront in the media before. You know, when she got married in the first place, she said, I'm going to take a break. I need to live life a little bit and create more songs by living life and having those stories to tell. Another artist, The Millennium, by Justin Timberlake. That album took 10 years. That music took some time to create and a lot of passion, and those albums are absolutely fire. And almost everything that I've heard from Adele, I like. So do you think these artists should have to keep some kind of quota, or, you know, should it be left up to them as to when their stuff releases? I mean, once they've gone viral, a lot of people's money does depend on their sales. Richie, what do you think?
Ooh, this is a tough thing to talk about creative process in any avenue. I think it really does depend on two things. I think it depends on, from the perspective of, are they looking for money and fortune and fame? A lot of the times in the music industry, it tends to just be kind of churning out what we call singles, right? Particularly, and this is really from like the 50s into 60s and 70s, where you had people hitting singles over and over and over and over and over. And then now you run into art, and some artists do that. And I think particularly in like hip hop, it's a lot more prominent and prevalent, where you have artists kind of just do features. So like, even if they're not necessarily making a song, they're still relevant. Like Drake's still there, and you still hear his presence. Nicki Minaj was really famous for it because actually her first album didn't come out for like 4 years, but she was in all of these like little segues and feature spots. So, and she's making good money on her feature spots, according to her, etc. So I do think it comes down to that. Like, if that's a goal, then yes, that pressure, so to speak, is going to be there. I think from the perspective of quality or like your integrity as an artist, that's up for you to decide.
Alex, you're a singer, songwriter, performing artist, recording artist,
movie actress,
a little bit of everything.
Single writer.
So you're probably starting to face pressure at the stage that you're at. What are your thoughts with what Adele's got going on?
I mean, when you're signed to a record label, when you have contracts involved, even if you're a writer at a publishing company and you're not necessarily an artist, there are stipulations that you have to stick to. And that's kind of it's a choice. When you go into that, there's pros and cons. And so there are a lot of artists who put out music because they're sticking to their contract, not necessarily because they're super inspired. There's a lot of things that fuel releases in that sense. In a perfect world, no, you shouldn't ever feel like you're pressured to do something and then do it for that reason. It's preferable to be totally inspired and have this amazing concept and then want to pursue that because that's what feels natural to you. I think those tend to be the best things. But speaking for myself, sometimes like I always say, like I like to write best when I'm inspired, but sometimes inspiration can be hard to come by, or you're just waiting for that perfect magical moment. But sometimes there's magic in sort of routinely forcing yourself in a way to consistently create content, whether you put it out or not. And then you're kind of honing a skill in that way that you can kind of pull out and use whenever you need to. So in a business sense, yeah, it's smart to consistently put out things, but not always, not always. Sometimes you can garner a lot of respect from your fans and from everyone else when you take your time with it. And then when you release it, you know, it's going to be fire because like it's coming from a genuine place.
Yeah, I was just listening to Richie and Alex talk and when you were kind of talking about Adele, if I'm a fan of Alex, I have to respect her process, right? She talked a little bit more about the contract side of it, which is good. But as the fan side of it, for me, you know, I have to respect her process. If she puts out music, you know, once a year and the content is not fire, then I have to live with that because I'm an Alex fan. But if I truly respect, you know, her process and it takes 5 or you were talking about Justin Timberlake, it took 10 years for him to get that project out. No matter if I'm a fan or not, for her, me being a fan, I'm going to wait for that no matter what. I'll give you an example instead of using Alex. I was just using Alex because she's part of the show. Everyone knows that I'm a big Eddie Murphy fan. Die-hard Eddie Murphy fan. Comedian, I just love him. There's people that could tell me, you know, he's not really the best comedian. That's fine. We're not up for that debate. But he's taken pretty much time off from his stand-up. But I would still watch him if he was to do a stand-up show tomorrow. Like if he said, hey, I'm going to do a stand-up show. I've been out of it for a long time, but I'm going to do it tomorrow. I'd still watch it because I'm that huge of a fan, and I've waited patiently. Of course I want him to do stand-up. I wanted him to do stand-up back in 2000, you know, when I became a big fan of his, and that stuff was made in the 80s, you know? So it's just like, you have to respect the process. Things take time sometimes. I understand what Alex is saying is you have to be disciplined and you have to push yourself because sometimes things just don't come to you. I have ideas that come in my head all the time, and I jot it down in a notebook. And I learned that from Richie. If I have a joke and I want to make it part of my comedy, I have to write it down right then, right there. Because if I don't, I'm going to lose track of it later on. Not everybody has that capability where it can just jump into your head. And it could just be seeing something. The light hit the wall the wrong way. And I'm just like, I'm going to write that down. So, I mean, everyone's different. Things take time. You just have to know what it is for you and then just be disciplined. But for Adele, she's got to do what she's got to do. If she needs to take time off, she needs to take time off. And we just have to respect that. That's just who we are as people. We'd want that to be done for us.
As much as I want to disagree with these people, because that's how I am, I can't. Like, everybody has their creative process. You have to do what works for you. Boondock Saints 2 came out 10 years after Boondock Saints 1. Really great. Finding Dory, they waited a long time. You have to do the right time, make sure your storyline, content, whatever is to your liking, and roll with it. So yeah, I totally would side with Adele on this. Take your time, do what's best for you. You have to stay mentally sane. Like, we're all going crazy right now, so you don't want to push anybody. Stay safe, do what's best for you, and roll with it.
I mean, it's not like Adele's a one-hit wonder, right? Like
right. She's rolling deep in the cash.
She's a megastar. So, you know, we just have to respect that it's going to take some time for her. And as long as it doesn't conflict with her contract, like Alex was bringing up, then she can take however long she wants to take. Yeah,
not to mention, I feel like when people reach a level of stardom, like the general public and fans, you start to feel like you own them in a sense, in the way that, like, if you're a hardcore fan of somebody, you can tend to like forget about them as a human being, but more like, this is someone who's like part of my identity and like what I like, and I expect to see more of the stuff that they just churn out. But like, people change and people evolve. Like, just because someone is an artist today and puts out an amazing song, they may never want to do that again. Maybe they were put on this earth to do that one thing in that particular way and then do like 10 different things in their life, you know? So yeah, I don't know.
Oh, I completely agree with what you said about us feeling like we own like famous people, because it's so funny. Everyone like Joe Jonas and
Sophie Stark.
Yes. Well, they just had a baby and everyone's like, I want to see this baby. Like, you don't deserve to see the baby. You will see the baby.
Right.
They let you see the baby. So yeah, no, I totally understand. And it's just frustrating too, watching everyone feel so entitled.
You guys all hit wonderful points. For me, it really kind of goes back to what Richie had stated about what kind of artist you want to be. I'm kind of a mixture of what Richie and Alex said, you know. If the type of artist you do want to be is somebody who makes the big bucks and is out there and is the top of the billboards and everybody's listening to it, then you're going to have to grind. One, to find the hit that everybody's going to like, because they're not going to like your best music, that's for sure. You know, the best stuff is only going to be liked by your true fans. And those fans will be there when you don't want to be in the limelight anymore, when you don't want to be there all the time, when you don't want it shoved down your throat. But that's going to do it for the Up and Up this week. Don't go anywhere. We have Artist Spotlight coming up.
Well, folks, welcome to Artist Spotlight on the H2G podcast. We've got a very special guest here with us. It is Carrie Johanna Beach. How are you doing, Carrie?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing wonderful, doing wonderful. So, wanted to get to know a little bit more about what you do.
So I'm actually a graphic designer and a freelance photographer. I went to school for design and got into photography from just playing around with the camera, and I guess that's it.
That's how it all started?
That's how it all started.
So we've got some pictures that you drew of Angelina Jolie and Beyonce. So when did you start drawing? Was it at school or did you draw before?
No, I started drawing when I was a kid, actually. I did draw like the Mickey Mouse cartoons and all that stuff as a kid. And then I guess my passion just grew, and I drew people that I get inspired by. So like Betty White, Beyonce, Sandra Bullock. But I haven't actually picked up a pencil for a while. It's probably been 3 years since I've drawn anything.
Well, you've been quite busy. You've got a family life and you have a real job, and
yes, I do.
you have your own business on the side, Carrie Jo Photography.
Yes, I do.
I'm going to introduce you to the guys, even though we talked for a little bit. If you didn't know, Carrie is my wife, so we just kind of went back and forth there for a second. But Carrie, this is Justin Duvall, Richie Phillips, and Christina.
Hello.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, did I miss something? Because we've all known each other for a long time, right?
Yes.
Carrie, for the listeners that don't know, Carrie does all of our graphic design as well, makes our website look fantastic, made our logo. A question that I have for you would be, what would you say to someone who would have been in your shoes when you were in high school? So just starting to kind of dabble in art and wanting to make it into a profession. What would your advice to them be?
I guess I would say do whatever it is that you're passionate about. Like do study, research. I mean, find what it is that drives you and just go full force at it.
I don't really have a question, but I'm gonna say something first before I lead into a question that I'll come up with as I start talking about Carrie. Carrie is extremely talented. We don't have very similar personalities, but I do think we have similar talent in the sense that we both can draw pretty well. We both do photography and stuff like that. And I don't think Carrie's getting enough credit for how good she is. She's not cheap, by the way. The website looks great. Justin's talking about that, but it didn't come at a pretty penny. So it wasn't like she just did this stuff for free or anything. I do have a question for Carrie. Carrie, so for our audience, like you do photography and you started off with drawing and you do graphic design, and that's pretty much what you do for your living is graphic design, which is, again, very technical. How did you get started into photography? Because for me, it was extremely challenging understanding like f-stop, aperture, and lenses. Do you use zoom lenses or do you stick to prime? Like what's your thought process with photography?
So for me, my niece was born and I was like, oh, this is she was so cute. And I was like, I want my sister to have pictures of her when she grows up. So I kept taking pictures of her and I got a really nice Canon camera. And I was like, I know how to do this. Like, this is going to be easy. You just point the camera, click a button and done. And that's how I started. I had it on auto, started taking pictures. And then I realized there's a lot more to photography than just clicking a button. I have a big pack of lenses now. I have prime lenses and I have a lot of lenses. It's kind of like another child to me. But I would say study the craft before you go and buy anything, because that's where I got into trouble. I just wanted a camera, so I picked one out, got it, and I wish I would have stopped and did a little more research, but I'm kind of more jump in full force and figure it out along the way. Yeah, but I feel like that's the better approach, because what you're telling is the opposite. That's what I ended up doing, is doing all this research before I went into it. But what I will say is like, it kind of made me stop, and like, I wish I would have started sooner, because I was so hesitant on like, oh man, this thing's like $1,800 for this lens. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, should I even buy this thing and stuff like that? Or at least if you buy a $300 body and you buy a $500 lens and you just swing for the fences and then learn, oh, well, this wasn't good enough. Well, you can always resell it used. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people get have hesitation and fear and like either their lack of commitment or how much it's going to cost that they don't even give it a chance. But thank you for answering. I just think people think photography is so easy. So I really wanted to kind of have that kind of question going. Oh, definitely. And when I started, I will say, like, I used all the shadows around the outside and all the stuff that people thought was like super cool at the time. It's not cool. Just see what else is out there.
So, Carrie, it's so good to see you. I haven't seen you in so long. So, Carrie, you have done every single photo shoot of mine, from senior pictures, engagement, pregnancy pictures.
Yeah.
And you have improved, just seeing from where you started to where you are now. What is like your proudest moment in your photography career?
Proudest moment?
That you got the best picture and just you would frame it if it was your family, like on your wall.
Okay, so I wouldn't frame this one, but my favorite picture of all time is actually one that Tony took. It's not even a picture I took. Tony took it when I was giving birth to our first child. And he was like, hey, do you want to see what it looks like with the child coming out of you? And I was like, no. But it's hilarious that he even thought to take the picture. And so that's probably my favorite picture.
Okay.
That's amazing.
Okay.
I probably can't put that on the air, but it's...
it's going on the air. It's okay. The question was...
Only you, brother.
The question was not to put me on blast. The question was, what's your favorite picture that you took, not that I took? And Christy trying to set you up so that it's Christy is the person that you took the picture of.
Oh, no. But it could be like a wedding picture, or something.
I mean, I do like wedding photography because people are all dressed up and people come to photo shoots in all kinds of clothes and I'm like, why would you wear that?
I don't know, Carrie. I like your answer. I'm just saying. I think that was a good
I don't. I'm trying to get it to go somewhere else here. There's too much heat. Pouring some gasoline on it, Richie. You're not helping out. You telling people about doing research and stuff. So you've actually taken some classes to enhance your education on photography. Is there a specific one that you did that you would recommend for someone to take that's just starting out, or?
Yeah, the one I'm listening to now is Amy and Jordan, and they're a really cute couple who explains the basics of photography. And I guess if they're willing to pay for a course, that's what I would do. And if not, I would go on YouTube and just look. I mean, I've learned a lot of stuff on YouTube, so I wouldn't hesitate to.
That's 100% of my education so far is YouTube, to be honest.
Yes.
So, YouTube and just doing it.
And I guess if you like a person's style, then I would just watch a lot of their YouTube videos and see how they obtain that style.
Now, since you said the word style, do you have a specific style that you use?
I would say I'm light and airy.
Light and airy?
Yes.
Can you elaborate?
Well, the photos are light and airy.
That sounds like a deodorant that guys get. You know what I mean? The light and airy fresh. You know?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're fresh and clean, very crisp. I like sunsets.
Carrie, do you use filters?
Do I what?
Do you use filters? Do you make filters in Adobe, or do you just do raw shot? Everything's raw. Just shoot raw.
Yeah, it is.
And I think I will tell you the hardest part of photography is the client. Because everything, the lighting can be perfect. I mean, everything can be perfect. But if you have a kid that's, I guess, in a bad mood or whatever and doesn't want to cooperate, that's probably the hardest part for me as a portrait photographer.
How do you deal with clients, right? Like, because for instance, here's my perception, because you do portrait photography. Let's clarify for people. Carrie does portrait photography. Now, from my perspective, that's why I don't go into that, is I like to just do scenic things because I don't have to deal with someone like a man who doesn't want to smile. I'm sure Christy can relate to that. But like, he doesn't want to pose, he doesn't want to do things, and he's just kind of like, I don't want to do this, because that's how I feel most men are, is they don't want to do it. The women are all about it, and the guys, I assume, just suck. Let's be honest. You don't have to say it, Carrie, I'll say it for you. The guys just suck. So how do you... How do you deal with getting someone out of their comfort zone and like getting them to, you know, take the shot, honestly? Like, because that's what I've always been afraid of portrait. Is not because I don't think I'm capable, but I know I have a short temper and I just don't know how I would deal with the male client that doesn't want to pose, doesn't want to be happy, looks like he's like terse the whole time. How do you deal with that? How do you get them to do what we need?
So a lot of times I'll take Christy on my photo, or like if I do a wedding, I'll take Christy as my second shooter. And Christy is so good at making guys like just, she'll either be sarcastic to them where it's like a playful thing and they just relax, kind of mellow, or they'll dish it back, and it sets this scene for like, this is a chill environment. Like, I just want you to smile, have fun. Like, cause that's the goal, is I want natural smiles. So I want you to have fun while you're in a session, because you're not going to get better smiles than if somebody's actually enjoying themselves.
What do you do if Christy's not there?
I cry.
And if she is taking pictures of Christy and Christy's husband, she plies them with alcohol.
Yes, because I will tell you, he is one of my more difficult customers.
I figured.
He is very, very difficult, especially if he's uncomfortable, which every outfit I put him in for pictures, he's uncomfortable. So it's a good time. And
I will have to say that, though, your pictures do turn out really good. So for him being,
Carrie does
difficult to work with,
I've seen them.
He does, I guess, smile eventually.
He'll smile for like the first 10 minutes and then he's like, I'm ready to go home now. So you have to bring like a mini bottle of scotch or something to lighten him up.
It kind of sounds like when you're working with the children, you have a small window. And you have to
very small. Definitely.
You bring peanut butter? Does that help?
No.
For dogs, yes.
Oh, but not for
children, no.
I wasn't sure.
So when you're doing your portrait shots, is there a specific group of people that you like to work with more? Like, do you like doing weddings, or do you like doing senior pictures, or newborns, or?
My actual favorite would be couples, because they listen to what you tell them to do. The men might not smile on command, but I mean, if they want to make if it's an engagement shoot and they want to make their woman happy, they know that they need to smile.
Yeah, they do.
One would hope.
One would hope. All right, so we do have a couple of your photos on video for us, for the people that are watching. But if you're not watching and you're listening on Spotify or another app, you can find the pictures on Facebook, and you can also find it on her website, which is
CarrieJoePhotography.com.
Stay tuned. Carrie and the fellas and Christy are going to have the last word up next.
Hi, my name's Carrie Jo, and I'm a designer and photographer based in Springboro, Ohio. You can find me on Instagram at Carrie Jo Beach or Facebook at Carrie Jo Photography.
All right. It is that time where we say, see you later for the week. And we're going to go around and give the last word this week. I'm going to send it over to Richie.
My last words, first of all, I'd like to thank Alex and Christy for joining us once again, and Carrie as well. Carrie is one of my favorite people ever, honestly, even though I don't always say that. What I want to talk about real quick is expectations. We kind of just briefly mentioned that over. I want people to understand, particularly with what's going on with Marvin right now. I'm not going to talk about his business or anything like that. But I think there's these expectations we have with ourselves that we have to produce or live in the moment. And I think there's these expectations we have where we think we need to be somebody in a moment that we might not be ready for. And so I think it's important to not look towards the future like that. And I think it is important to just live in the now and understand that you're not necessarily, nobody expects you to react a certain way, right? Like you've never encountered things sometimes. So it's important to just be yourself. And when you start building experiences and you build these bonds, and obviously the second time will be easier, or you'll know what to do. But I don't think it's worth living your life anticipating things. I think it's better to just live them and find them and react to them as they happen. So for those of you who focus on, your 5-year plans and your 10-year plans, it's great. That's great. Do it in the positive and productive ways, but don't think about the negative things that can happen and how you would react to them and how you would deal with them. Let those happen as they happen. And that's my last word.
I'd like to thank Christy and Alex and Carrie for joining the show. Once again, it's always a pleasure having you on the podcast. Richie and Justin, it's nice having you as well. Wait, we're always doing this together, so it's always good times. Listen, seriously, the Seahawks story that we did and the mass story that we did last week, we need for people to understand that this is serious. And I don't know how to get people to understand that it's serious, except for to keep talking about how serious it is. And hopefully it will sink in. It was really, different not having Marvin here. The show was a little bit different, but we were able to, still stay afloat and produce something really good. And I understand why he couldn't be here, because life happens, and we have to respect that. And we told him because he felt bad. And we said, dude, family's first. But like Richie said, we're not here to put his business out there. But to go off what Richie said, family's first. You got to take care of your family. If there's somebody or someone in your family and you're not seeing eye to eye with, take the time to reach out to them and fix, certain things that need to be fixed, because we never know when they're going to be gone. We're never going to know when they're not going to be here. And, be the stronger person and make it right. Don't sit on grudges. That's just how I feel. I might be an only child, and that just might be my only child mindset. But I married into a family with 7 siblings, so I actually have a different perspective of what family is like through their experience and my experience with them. And it's a lot different than the only child mindset. So, be kind, love one another, do something for yourself, do something for others, take care of yourself. And that's all I've got. See you next week.
Hey guys, thanks again for having me over. It's Always a blast with you people. I do have to send some love over to Marvin. Couldn't hang out with him today. So hope everything's doing all right. And I will just want to say, just reach out to someone that you haven't talked to in a while. It happened to me earlier this week where one of my old classmates reached out to me. Probably haven't talked to her in like 5 years. And it made me so happy. Like, oh, she's thinking about me and she's over in California. But it's just nice to know that you're being thought of, and just think of someone else, brighten their day, and wear your masks. Stay safe. Can't stress that enough. It's not about you. It's about everyone else. So until next time.
Cool. I'd like to say something very profound, but instead I'm just going to say, please drink responsibly. Because I am sick today because I suffered from a major hangover. And you guys, I'm telling you, I don't drink that often, but it was a perfect storm what happened yesterday for this to happen. And I mean, I could tell you the whole story. I was dehydrated. I was like fasting for a shoot I had yesterday. And then I went to a friend's house last night, my neighbor, and totally chill party. My body was not chill with the alcohol that I drank. So do what's best for you. What's good for you isn't going to be what's good for everyone else. Know yourself, know your body, take care of yourself. And if, things happen that are not ideal or mistakes or whatever, it makes you stronger and you learn more about yourself and about others. And there's always a positive to take away from any situation. So I don't know, just super glad to be here with you guys. Take care of yourselves. And that's all I got.
Thank you, Alex, Christy, Tony, Richie, for all of your last words. And thank you to Alex, Christy, and Carrie for joining us today. It's always a pleasure seeing you. Hope we can do this again. I'm just going to ask everybody to be responsible. Take away from the sports story that you can affect people without them deciding whether or not they want to be affected. Tony said it best. Pete Carroll could have gotten sick because this guy wanted to bring, and I say this guy because I can't even remember his name. I've never heard of him. He had a $2,000 signing bonus to the NFL. You know what I mean? And he could have put Pete Carroll and the rest of that staff at risk. You got to be self-aware of what's going on and what you're doing, and live, laugh, love like it's your last. I'm going to send it over to our special guest, Carrie, for the last word.
So this is a little out of my element. So thank you for, taking me out of quarantine and being behind my computer or behind my camera, and I guess allowing me to share my craft. So thank you for having me.
This has been a Justo's Best production. Thank you for listening.